So UFC 323 just finished up, and to be honest, I'm feeling a little bit empty. I feel like my soul has left my body, just like Pantoja's shoulder and elbow left their sockets. But then on the other hand, it's like I've been rebirthed, like a phoenix. Yes, Pantoja and Van got ruined, but we finally saw the Goblin lose. And we finally saw Striking prevail. Anyway, before I get too ahead of myself, today I want to talk about how injuries have been ruining main events, and I want to talk about Jan's huge win that no one saw coming. You know, except for those people who are like, oh, I thought he was going to win the whole time. I know your game, motherfucker. I'm watching you. If that sounds like something you would enjoy, don't forget to spank the shit out of the like button and my anus, and let's jump into it. Now, firstly, I've got to say congrats to Van. As you guys know, I'm a huge Van glazer. I've already got 2 videos on my channel of this guy, and he's rivaling JDM in terms of glaze. But I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't empty inside when I saw him on top of his coach's shoulder parading around the octagon. I knew staring at Josh that I should feel happy for him because he's just realized his dream. But somewhere deep in my heart, I thought, this is not how it was meant to go. This is not how it should be, and why the fuck do injuries keep ruining main events? Instead of feeling happy for Van, I just felt sorry for Pantoja. And not just Pantoja, I also felt sorry for Van. Here, let me break it down a little bit. Pantoja had such a dominant reign inside of the flyweight division, and it was getting to the point where we had to start scooping down into the bottom of the division to try find him a matchup. And just the other day I was saying to my friend, it's kind of getting boring at flyweight. And that's what happens when you have such a dominant champion. But you know what's worse than that? The champion who is dominant snapping his shoulder or elbow in half, and then watching one of your favorite fighters win a title in the most unauthentic way possible. Not as bad as Aljamain, but still. Pretty bad. Now, lots of people will say, yes, Van was the one who pushed him over and he caused the TKO. And it's not Van's fault. I'm not saying it is. But you know, and I know, and Van knows, that that wasn't due to skill. That wasn't due to fight IQ. That was due to a freak injury. And even me sitting right here, being one of the biggest Josh Van glazers, I still can't sit here and be like, that's a win for my boy. And as I said, I just felt empty watching him, because I wanted to be so fucking happy. He's so young, he's so talented, and he worked his way to the top, took fights on short notice, and now has won the title. Yet I'm sitting there looking at him feeling empty. And I think a lot of it is coming from when I look at Van and probably the scrutiny that he's going to get online now, I'm always going to feel like he doesn't deserve that. Because he's such a nice guy, he did nothing wrong, and he won. Yet he's going to have a lot of people, especially Brazilians, very angry at him for the way that he acted after the fight, which I think he did nothing wrong. You should be able to celebrate a win, especially if it's not your fault. But also in the way that he won the belt. And he very well could have went out there and TKO'd him, but we never got to see the fight even get started. Especially for me, my stream was lagging. Now, I'm sure Van doesn't give a fuck. He's just become one of the youngest champions in the UFC. He's probably got a fat paycheck, and he made his mum very proud. And none of this was his fault, but I care. And I know other fans like me care, because that's our boy. And I don't want to see anyone online talking shit about him. He doesn't deserve it, and he's a good guy. Anyway, I hope that Pantoja heals up fast, and I want to talk more about feeling empty with the UFC. Now, I'm starting to get scared of putting excitement into UFC fights. It's kind of like I've had my heart broken in a relationship, and I'm scared to put my love back out there on the market. You know, I'm scared to skim through the UFC cards and be like, ooh, that's a banger. Charles versus Max, oh, that should be a good fight. Paddy versus Justin, ooh, that should be a good fight. Volk versus Lopez, ooh, that should be a good... No, fuck that, that's still bullshit. Get out of here. Anyway, putting my feelings to the side, before I ramble too much further, let's talk about what's next for flyweight. So looking at that injury, and I'm no doctor, I am. You know, I popped my LCL and my MCL, and that took me out for like a year. Now I'm no professional athlete, but still, Pantoja's getting up there in age, and that shit looked nasty. And then Joe Rogan's like, let's see that again in full HD for everyone. But as I said, estimating 3 to 6 months recovery time at least. Either they wait it out and give Pantoja his flowers and see how he is around that date, or they go, meh, in the meantime, let's run this Japanese kid versus this kid from Myanmar. 2 well-rounded fighters with huge fan bases, slap them together, put it in the White House. That's probably what they're going to do. But in saying that, Man, both divisions really got shook up today. Both Merab and Pantoja seem to have this toehold over their divisions. I honestly didn't see a time where either of them could lose, let alone on the same night. What is happening? And for most of this year, it's kind of been like, I'm not really excited for these matchups. I don't see either of these guys losing. And that is why the UFC has us by the balls. Because you never know when this shit is gonna happen. You can't predict it. We've got guys here making a full-time wage predicting the fights, and not a single one of them would have predicted either of these things happening. Except for maybe Lucas Tracy. Rest in peace. Now bringing it back, talking about things I didn't think were gonna happen. Petr Yan beating Merab at his own game. Scrambling, sprawling, shooting underhooks, beautiful grappling against the cage, and stuffing damn near every single takedown that Merab had. Now watching this, I thought, oh, but Merab can just do this all night. But that's only when he's able to emote on you. It's only possible when he can get in your head and when he can take a breather whilst you're getting back to your feet. But if you're stuffing the takedowns and you're in his face and you're putting on damage and you're not succumbing to the mind games of Merab and you're hitting him in the body with the most beautiful liver kicks I've ever seen, then you can beat him. And you have to also be flawless on the night, which he was. Yan come out with an amazing game plan. He had his hand glued to his chin like he had a pimple that he didn't want anyone to see. And he just hit him with beautiful jabs, kept at range, made sure he didn't get too close, too far in, made sure he didn't overthrow, and slowly and systematically put damage on Merab. So much damage. And can we just talk about the glazing for Merab from the commentary? It's like we watch different fights. Can we please get a mute commentary button on Paramount? I will pay double the subscription fee. I will give you large amounts of money to mute the commentary. Please just let me listen to leather hitting faces. Let me listen to feet bouncing off skulls. Don't have me listen to Joe Rogan talk about calf kicks anymore. Please, God. Anyway, while I was still writing ideas for this video, Merab was being interviewed, and I could still hear him in my headset. Oh, hey guys, for like 10 minutes. And he's saying how he wanted to make it a entertaining fight. And he's also saying that he's not making excuses, but you didn't try and make the fight entertaining, Merab. You tried to make it your normal wrestle ragdoll rape by picking him up, putting him on the ground. But it just didn't work. So no, you didn't try and make it entertaining. Maybe for the first 2 minutes until you took like a flush 1-2 down the middle, then you started trying to wrestle. Maybe for that first bit you were trying to entertain the fans, but let's not act like you were trying to be the one to make it entertaining for the fans. It was entertaining for us because your game got stopped and Peter put big damage on you. Anyway, I don't want to seem like a Merab hater. I do like the guy. I think he's funny. But I can't lie and say I'm not happy to see Peter as the champion because he's violent and we get to see beautiful boxing again. Merab was funny and Merab was dominant, but there's nothing that exciting about watching him pick someone up and slam them on the ground and point in their face. Unless it's Umar. Then it is very, very funny and I will watch that all the time. Now Merab is asking for a rematch, which I do think he is deserving of. He was such a dominant champion. He fought the most times out of any champion this year, and he made that fight very competitive. And he also dominated Peter in the first fight. But in saying all that, do you think they're giving that title shot back to Merab? After seeing Gaethje and Justin be announced, after seeing Volk and Lopez being announced, you think in your brain that they're giving Merab, the Wrestle Raper, another shot at the belt? You are out of your mind. I'll tell you what's going to happen right now. Sugar is going to beat his Song Yudong, and that's going to set up Peter versus Sugar Sean O'Malley on the White House card. Everything's just going on the White House card. On the White House card. And that's where it ends. Peter and Sean on the White House card. Tatsuro Taira and Van on the White House card. And JDM. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. We're now coming into summer for me. I have 3 weeks off for my job, and that means I'm going to be grinding content. That means we're going to not be watching the UFC. That means we're going to be trying not to be depressed at family Christmas time. But it means you'll be seeing a lot more of me. So again, thank you very much for everyone who has supported my channel so far. This has been a massive year for me. Yeah, we're not at the end of the year yet, so I don't want to get soppy on you, but I do appreciate anyone who watches my videos all the way to the end and always leaves a nice comment. I appreciate you guys a lot. What else do I have to yap about? Hey guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click video on left or right hand side of video. Oh, and I think I deserve a title shot rematch. All right, guys, see you next week. Peace.